Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, everyone. It's so good to see all of you here on the Shabbat. And first off, thank you to our host for tonight, the Gimel Dalet class of the Smile School. Woo! And it's lovely to be here with you all to celebrate Shabbat and also mark the beginning of the new month of Kislev. The Hebrew calendar, we have a different calendar than the Gregorian calendar that we also follow. And this month, you probably extra know because it's the month that has Hanukkah in it. And we will be marking Rosh Hodish tonight. And I'm going to start. And I want to say thank you to Shelley. This is our first Shabbat where Shelley is playing with us for three-part harmony, and we are delighted to have her playing with us tonight. And a thank you to Josh as well, who is handling all the technology tonight, and we are very, very grateful. And I want to start by inviting up the Kita Gimel Dalet class for candle lighting.
Never fails.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Beautiful. Shabbat shalom. Leo. Shabbat shalom. Thank you. Kita Gimel Dalet. Thank you.
Good job.
Shabbat shalom. Welcome. We'll continue with our service with Shalom Aleichem, which is on page 6 in this Siddur, in this prayer book. And for folks at home, in the chat of the Zoom, you have the PDF of this prayer book here. And so I'll be announcing pages from it. Page 6, Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Mi melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Baruch hu leShalom malachei hashalom malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Zetem leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech Malachei HaMlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Just welcome in Shabbos angels who will be with us for this next 25 hours. So we have a day, which is 24 hours, but Shabbat is 25 hours. And this is a time for us to be together with family, with friends, with song. And it is so special for us to be together tonight. And I just want to say a little bit more about Rosh Hodish, which literally translates as the head of the month. And so in the Tat Shabbat earlier, we were talking about the moon and the moon cycles. And after services tonight, there's going to be a special treat where we're going to look into the moon more in a really tasty, delicious sort of way too. And in the moon cycle, which is what our calendar is, it starts with just a sliver, then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And about at the halfway point of the month, we see the moon in its fullness, and then it gets smaller again. And way back in the day, thousands of years ago, the Jews who were living in Eretz Israel, in the land of Israel, they needed to tell other people when the new moon was, when it was the new month. So they would have bonfires on the top of hills, and people from different towns would see these bonfires, and then they would light a bonfire to let other people know in the next town that Rosh Hodish was coming. And so it was really important to the Jewish people that we be celebrating this all together. And so we're celebrating Shabbat tonight, and we're celebrating Rosh Hodish. And we will continue our service with L'Chadodi on page 9. Hadodi likrat kala yadada 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela lechadodi likrat kala yadada 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 Shabbat nekabela shamor v'zachor bidbur echad Hishmianu elam euchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad L'shemu tiferet v'helitila L'chadodi likrat kala yadada 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 B'nei Shabbat nekabela L'chadodi likrat kala yadada 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 B'nei Shabbat nekabela Boi v'shalom atet bala Gam besimcha u'betzchala Toch emunei am segula nekabela lehadodili katkala yarada 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 neshabat nekabela. So I have a special story I want to share tonight about Rosh Hodish. And this is a Kurdish folktale. So in Judaism, a lot of our tradition and our stories have historically been passed down orally, meaning telling it from one person to the next. And I want to share this story that was written down eventually by Howard Schwartz, and it's called A Flock of Angels. Long ago, in the Kurdish town of Mosul, there lived a young woman named Asenath, who was known for performing wonders. Her blessings were often sought by women who wished to have babies or by sick people who wished to be cured. Her touch had healing powers, especially for children. Asenath had learned everything from her father, Rabbi Samuel Barzani, who was well acquainted with the secrets of heaven. He had taught these secrets to her until her wisdom and powers were as great as his own. It was whispered among the people that the spirit of her father rested upon her, and for this reason she was known as Rabbi Asenath. After Rabbi Samuel died, he often came to his daughter in dreams. He would reveal dangers to her and tell her how to ward them off, saving many lives. One night, Asenath dreamed that Rabbi Samuel told her to go to the Kurdish town of Ahmadiyya for Rosh Hodish, the celebration of the new moon. He told her that the Jews of Ahmadiyya needed her protection. When it became known that Rabbi Asenath was planning to travel to Ahmadiyya, the people of her town pleaded with her not to go, for things had become dangerous for the Jews living there. All Jews have been warned to stay away from Ahmadiyya, they warned her. If you go, you will surely be risking your life. But Asenath had made up her mind. She bid farewell to the people of her town and began her journey. When Rabbi Asenath reached the town that she had visited so often, she was given great respect as a holy woman. But the people were upset that she told them that they should celebrate Rosh Hodish outdoors so they could see the crescent of the new moon, as was their custom. They wanted to stay in the safety of their synagogue, for they knew they were surrounded by enemies and that their very lives were in danger. Don't be afraid, she told them. And their faith in God and their trust in her were so great that they agreed to proceed as in the past, despite the danger. So on the night of Rosh Hodish, all the people came out to celebrate the new moon and the new month. At first, they were cautious, yet soon they were singing and dancing in the town square with abandon. But suddenly there were shouts, and they saw flames shoot up into the sky. The synagogue had been set on fire. Thank God no one had been inside it. Yet they could not bear to see their synagogue consumed in flames. Many men had to be held back so they wouldn't run inside and be burned while trying to save the Torah scrolls. Everywhere people wept, falling to their knees, for they knew the flames were fast approaching the ark where the Torahs were kept. At that very moment, Rabbi Asenath whispered a secret name, one that she had learned from her father. All at once, people heard a loud flapping and a great wind swirled around them, and they thought that a flock of birds must be overheard. But when they looked up, they saw a flock of angels descending to the roof of the synagogue. The angels beat the flames with their wings until every last spark had been put out. Then they rose up into the heavens like a flock of white doves and were gone. The people were awestruck. They cried out, "Angels, angels!" And when the smoke cleared, they saw that another miracle had taken place. The synagogue had not been burned, nor was a single letter of any of the Torahs touched by the flames. When the enemies of the Jews learned of the miracle of the angels and saw how the synagogue had been saved from the fire, they dared not harm the hair of even a single Jew. As for the Jews of that town, they wept and prayed and thanked God for saving this day for them in their beloved synagogue. And they were so grateful to Rabbi Asenath that they renamed the synagogue after her, and it is still standing to this day. And all this came to pass because of Rabbi Asenath's courage and loyalty in honoring her father's wish, conveyed in a dream that she go to that town for the celebration of a new moon. We now turn to our call to prayer, the Baruch Hu, which can be found on page 10. As we bless the source of life, so we are blessed. Please rise in body or spirit. As we bless the source of life, so we are blessed. Baruch Hu et Adonai Chamevora. Baruch Adonai Chamevora Leolam Vaed. Baruch Adonai Chamevora Leolam Vaed. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. If you're standing, you may be seated, and I am going to invite up Maura Barbara and the Kita Gimel Dalet class once again for the Shema and the V'ahavta, which can be found on page 16.
You want to go in the chair? You can come here. Oh, no. See that? You can be still on. Again.
Ushartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu l'totafot b'neinecha, uftavtam al mezuzot beitecha, u'v'yisharecha. And I'm going to turn it over to Maura Barbara now, who's going to talk to us a little bit about some of the work that this class has been doing.
Okay, so guys, Maura Ruth sends her apologies She got her booster yesterday and is not feeling quite up to par. So she's at home resting, and we're really glad she got her booster. So I'm going to just explain a little bit, and I'm going to ask the class help because you guys have been talking about Shabbat and welcoming Shabbat, and they've made a beautiful Shabbat banner. Can I have your help? Gently.
Here, I can take your seat, Regina.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, guys. Okay. Wow, this is beautiful. And so we also had a little bit of help from Jennifer Lavenberg, who's with us this evening. Would one of you like to take a little bit of a stab and tell us about your banner? Someone want to raise their hand?
Let's bring the mic closer.
No? Okay. All right, it's okay. So anyway, we were talking about how we talk. So somebody point to one of the symbols and tell me. So
Holla!
what do you think the symbol of Shabbat? If somebody points to something on your banner, so what is that? Great future wine. And we had another thing that we did earlier this evening, we lit the Shabbat candles, right? And so we talked about how we welcome Shabbat in our houses. And what did we say was one of the most important things about Shabbat? Anybody remember? All right, we're a little shy. So we talked about one of the most important things is to be together as a family. And that, these are things that you can take on if you choose to for Shabbat. But more importantly, is making Shabbat your own. And so we're going to be learning, the blessings and some things about Shabbat, but we also are going to investigate what ways that we can mark Shabbat. I shared a little bit of traditions from our family about how when my kids used to get out early for Shabbat, we would go with other families and we would have a little snack and then we would go home and we would put out our Kiddush cups and our sandwiches and things like that and set our table. And so, we talked about things that we could do to be Shabbat special. So does anybody have anything that they want to add? Anybody else have anything that they want to say about Shabbat? Like maybe if you have a little Shabbat tradition that you either like to do or heard about?
I like to have a big spacious meal. Like sometimes when we have dinner or lunch, we know we have to run somewhere right afterwards. And I really love on Shabbat having a meal where I don't have to run anywhere afterwards. I'm exactly where I need to be. Whoa.
That's awesome. That's absolutely. Another thing, so Rabbi Sarah shared that she likes to have a special dinner. But the other thing too is sometimes when I'm feeling like making a big dinner is too much. What I like to do is sometimes just get something simple like pizza, but I set my table with pretty paper plates and flowers and sometimes cooking that meal is a little bit too much, but I like to do something to make it special. So yeah, so something to think about and
you. Woo! Can I give you your Siddur back? Thank you. Can you actually now do me a favor and hold those for a second while I put this mic up? Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. I didn't want to repeat it. Thanks. It takes a village. Thanks, village.
Right. Thank you for that presentation and for the beautiful art. And I always love to hear about everyone's different Shabbat traditions. I wanted to share now a poem that once again invites us into Rosh Hodish, into this month of light. And this is from Marcia Falk. It's called What Calls You Home? It is neither day nor night. The sky has no color at all. The moon has risen, the slimmest fingernail or thread. The thread is white, then silver. The sky blooms like a rose. The trees are drained of color. Their green light lifts to the sky. Above the rose blue, lightless blue. The rose turns yellow-orange. A train passes, dogs bark. The trees are black, are one. The moon is platinum. Between the trees and moon, 3 stars speckle the sky. A lamp burns in a window, an airplane crosses the moon. What house draws you near? What light calls you home? So we enter in this month where we notice the light in the darkness, right? You know, think about, where does light bring you? What does it remind you of? And we will turn to the Micha Mocha now, which is on page 22. And this is a song that we're told that the Israelites sung out as they went to freedom, as they crossed the sea into freedom. So I want you to bring that sort of energy into this song, the energy of freedom and the energy of when you're so excited that you just move your body or you just sing, and bring that into this song of freedom on the Micha Mocha, which can be found on page 22. Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha, Bailim Adonai. Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha, Nedar Bakodesh, Nora Tehilot, Ose Belen, Nora Tehilot, Ose Belen. Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha, Bailim Adonai. Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha, Nedar Bakodesh. Nora Tehilot, Ose Bele. Nora Tehilot, Ose Bele. Yai, dai, dai, dai. Yai, dai, 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 dai. Yai, dai, 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 dai. Yai, dai, 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 yai. Yai, dai, 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 dai. Yai, dai, dai, dai. Yai, dai, 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 dai. da 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 da. Woo! So when I was looking in this Siddur, in this prayer book today, I got so excited and I said to Shelley, I said, oh my gosh, students at Rosh Hodish wrote a part of this prayer book. So I wanted us to look at it together today on page 20. Let's read this all together. When I listen to God, I listen to my heart. I hear trees swaying with their leaves. God is all around. I hear people praying from Australia to Peru. I hear a voice coming out of nowhere. I hear the love of people. Beautiful. Yeah. More Barbara. Thank you. I love that. Yeah. I think that, like I said, this is what we're told the Israelites sung out on their journey to freedom. And sometimes, I don't know if you guys feel this way, like when I'm so excited or I'm feeling something so much, I don't have words for something, but I might just start singing or I might just start dancing. And so I love that kavanah, that spirit that you're bringing in to the service today. Thank you. We'll continue with Hashkivenu, which is on page 23. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom V'hamidenu Malkeinu Lechaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom V'hamidenu Malkeinu Lechaim. Gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be all right. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom V'hamidenu Malkeinu Lechaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom V'hamidenu Malkeinu Lechaim Yai-da-dai, dai-dai-da-dai, yai-da-dai, dai-dai-da-dai, yai-da-dai, dai-dai-dai, yai-da-dai-dai-dai. Blessed are you, source of kindness and love, who spreads a sukkah, a shelter of peace over us, over Jerusalem, and over all who live on earth. We'll now turn to our silent Amidah, our private prayers, which begin on page, hold on one second, page 29, and I invite you to use the words in the prayer book. One thing that's super awesome about this Siddur is there's lots of lovely stories and writings throughout. So we're going to take a few moments for private prayer, either in the words in the book or the words of our heart tonight, and we'll come back together in a few minutes. Page 30 for Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, amen. Beautiful. We now turn to the point of our service where we send out our healing prayers to those who are in need of healing tonight. And I will read the names of people in the Rosh Hodish community who are in need of extra healing prayers. And if you are on Zoom or YouTube, you can put in the chat who you're sending your prayers to, and Josh will report it back to us. So those names are also with us in the room. And if people in the kahal, in the community here, want to add their names, I will make time for that after reading those on this list first. We're sending a refuah shlema to Andrea Abrams Herbert, James Alberts, Roberta Archibald, David Ash, Arden Bell, Barry Bell, Carol Mueller Bell, Risa Burson, Rabbi Deborah Bowen, Robin Cupo, Francesca Dever, Faye Fishman, Marcy Fish, Joan Flaherty, Eric Gershman, Jonathan Giannini, George Glansberg, Gail Glansberg, Cordula Hamish, Peter Hoagland, Hava Hurley, Michelle Kalick, Sharon Cass, Moss Kaufman, Beverly and Howard Kaufman, Fran Kaufman, Richard Crayson, Elsie Lieberstein, Robert Mueller, Anthony Nero, Lisa Nicholson, Jennifer Pablo, Riley Pablo, Thomas Pablo, Sam Pollock, Pearl Ritterman, Abby Rosenberg, Mike Rosenberg, Shelley Sanders, Willie Schneer, Bertha Schwartz, Marlene Sortino, Lloyd Sutter, Howard Temple, Lynn Van Engel, Brandy Wasilewski, Stan Wickstein, Millie Weissman, Grace Sangwell, Eileen Zeff, and names in the chat. Leonard Stern, Julia Rattenberg, Maureen Marlowe, Meredith Kane, and anyone? Words of the Misha Berach by Debbie Friedman can be found on the inside flap right when you open the siddur here. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Lehi Mahotenu. May the source comes before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. May they all have a refuat hanefesh, a refuat haguf, a healing of the soul and a healing of the body, and let us say Amen. We turn next to the Aleinu, which can be found on page 34. I invite you to rise in body or spirit. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol la'tekidula le'yotzeh breshit shenatan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu ve'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKatuv b'Toratecha Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed v'nemar v'chaya Adonai v'melech al kol ha'aretz bayom hahu hiyeh Adonai echad u'shemo Ushemo echad. If you're standing, you can be seated. We turn now to the Mourner's Kaddish, where we have the opportunity to remember those who are no longer with us. And I am going to read the names of those in our community who we're remembering today. And for those on Zoom or YouTube, you can put in the chat those who you are saying Kaddish for today, and we'll read the names in just a moment. In the Rosh Hodish community, marking a yard site, we remember Arthur Willits, brother of Gloria Ringel, Gloria Fishman, mother of Marty Savitsky, Alvin Burse, father of Lainey Moss, Josephine Browning, grandmother of Jennifer Hoagland, Abraham Stewerman, father of Manny Stewerman, Phyllis Mintz, cousin of Edith Lane, Reuben Elfman, brother of Betty Kahn, William Harris, father of Rabbi Maurice Harris, and Peter Hoagland, who passed away this week, who is the father of Jennifer Hoagland. And is anybody in the hall today, saying Kaddish? And on Zoom and YouTube? No one? Okay. If you're saying Kaddish, I invite you to rise, or if it is in your custom to rise in body or spirit. Mourner's Kaddish is on page 36. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'yalmad divrach hiruteh, v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dekol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman karev v'imru, Yehei shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudashah Le'ela min kol birkata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiram v'yama v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, huya aseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, amen. May their memories be for a blessing, and may we keep on remembering them. May their memories be for a blessing. We turn now to announcements and then birthdays. For announcements this week, there's lots coming up at Or Hadash. Tomorrow morning, there's Torah study and Shabbat services that are going to be hybrid, 9 a.m. for Torah study, 10 a.m. for services. So you can come here in person, mass, just like we are tonight, or on Zoom. All of the links should be in your email. On Sunday, we have the Pogrom Nacht commemoration with Holocaust survivor Ralph Franklin, who's going to be speaking. That is at 10:30 a.m. If you're at the Smile School and you're in the classes that will be attending that, it will be in person, and it will also be live streamed on YouTube. Monday, November 8th. So this Monday, we have book club at 7 p.m. discussing The World to Come by Dara Horn. Contact is Stu Rosenthal. Monday evening, 7:30, we have evening Torah study. Please contact Marty Jacobs or Jeff Chubbett for that. Saturday, November 13th is the Or Hadash Fall Hike at 1:45 p.m. Sunday, November 14th, the Anti-Racism Task Force is having an education equity panel at 11:30. Mahjong on November 15th in the evening. And there's a board meeting on November 18th, and meetings of the board of directors are open to all congregants. If you'd like to attend, please email Phil, president@orhadash.com, to receive the Zoom link. And Sunday, November 21st, we have a special adult ed program called Jewish Spirituality: Why So Many Left Judaism to Search for Spirituality Elsewhere, and Where and How We Can Find It Today. A discussion with Rabbi Sheila Peltz-Weinberg at 11 a.m. and Manny Rosenberg is your contact for that. And in our Siddur that we use on many Shabbats, you sometimes see like a name at the bottom that says SPW. So if you were wondering who's SPW, this is SPW, Sheila Peltz-Weinberg, who's doing that program. So it will be wonderful. And there are lots more upcoming events and meetings, and they are all in your Hakesher email. And we now turn to more Barbara. Yes. Okay. Wonderful. Mensch to Mensch, 9:30 this Sunday. And I want to give a huge thank you to the Gimel Daled class for hosting us tonight. And Maura Barbara and Maura Ruth, and we're sending, she's here, great. Amazing. Thank you, Jennifer. Wonderful. Thank you, Jennifer. And thank you to Shelley for your beautiful music tonight. Yay. And thank you to Josh for holding down the tech for us so beautifully. Woo! Now, who has a birthday this month? If you have a birthday this month, I invite you to come up. Kids and adults alike. Together. Any birthdays on Zoom or YouTube? No? Okay. So we will sing Hayom Yom Huledet, the birthday song in Hebrew, which can be found right in the flap when you first open the Siddur. Yeah. Oh. Great. Yom Yom Huledet Hayom Yom Huledet Hayom Yom Huledet Lechavrim. Hayom Yom Huledet Hayom Yom Huledet Hayom Yom Huledet Lechavrim. Hag Lachem Sameach V'Zer Lachem Poreach Hayom Yom Huledet Lechavrim. Hag Lachem Sameach V'Zer Lachem Poreach Hayom Yom Huledet Lechavrim. Woo! Why don't we share when your birthday is? And if you want to share how old you're turning, you can, but it's totally up to you. Woo!
My birthday is November 22nd.
Yes. Woo!
And an old lady.
Happy birthday. We now have a special surprise in the community room. It's a delicious educational treat all wrapped up in one. So thank you so much for being here. Shabbat Shalom. You have a question? No? Okay. And we'll say good night and Shabbat Shalom to folks on Zoom and YouTube. Shabbat Shalom. When you see them up there, you're